Hello and welcome to the Incomplete series, your incomplete guide to every TV show you've never watched. This is where we watch the very first episode and the very last episode of a TV series and, try and figure out what happened in the middle. My name's Morgan and with me is my good friend Jeremy. Jerome, how are you?
Very well.
Anything else?
No?
Short and sweet? Good.
How are you?
I'm good.
You always kick up a stink at the start of every episode.
I also always forget to introduce myself, so,
No one knows or cares
Okay.
who you are.
Anyway, Aaron, how are you?
I'm pretty terrible, but I think a bit of sickness kicked in about halfway through watching the first episode of the show we're covering this week. So
okay.
I had some kind of allergic reaction.
Look, I will agree with you. It wasn't a great show, but
Yeah.
We'll come back to why you're terrible, and that will play out over the episode. And finally, my good friend Scott. You're looking well. How are you?
Oh, thanks. It's all the hot Earl Greys I've been drinking.
I've been really hitting the Earl Greys hard.
Do you take it with anything, Morgan?
Nothing! How are we, guys? How are we feeling after Star Trek? Have we watched any Star Trek since watching those two episodes? I personally have.
I've seen some
No.
GIFs online, because that was sort of my exposure to Star Trek before, was just, I would occasionally see GIFs.
It's a highly giftable show.
Yeah.
It's got a lot going on.
Yeah, I saw one this morning of, it was, what's the android guy? What's his name?
Data.
Data in like
Played by Brent Spiner.
an old school captain's hat for some reason.
From the holodeck, I think.
Yeah.
I've watched a couple episodes now. I feel like I'm an expert.
You enjoy it?
Okay.
It's not bad. I mean, it's very dated, but it's on Netflix, so it's just sort of chuck on. And
Have you worked out why Data's sort of yellow?
no, I haven't. And
I didn't realize androids could get hepatitis.
I don't know. Maybe I think it was because they were
Sharing
they're
needles?
making him as just a they didn't want to give him any sort of racial identification, so he could be anything. That's why they made him yellow instead of some sort of
I think that's
Caucasian
all-
flesh
that's-
tone and-
I mean, he's played by a Caucasian man.
So what? Does
it's
that
kind
doesn't-
of
That's really not
assigned him right there.
No, not I don't think so.
Oh, so you think they delicately avoided that issue?
I think they nailed it.
I don't
personally.
think so. I think he looks like a sick Anglo man. He doesn't look racially ambiguous.
That's the everyman.
He just looks unwell.
Oh, I don't know. I think there's two schools of thought really.
Okay.
I don't want to get into that too much because this is not about Star Trek Next Generation.
We've moved on.
And let's talk about what we looked at.
Ghost Whisperer.
Yeah. Which, look, I don't think it's... we all watched it, because that's what we do here, and it's probably the boringest show we've watched so far.
Yeah, it's very formulaic.
But, Jez, what did you know about Ghost Whisperer before we kind of dived into this?
I think I'd maybe seen one or two. Actually, I don't even think I'd seen episodes.
I don't believe you.
I knew it existed. I was aware of it. It sort of came, late 2000s when these sort of supernatural shows were really starting to peak.
Yeah.
And seemed to just ride off the success of other types of shows. So maybe their whole marketing strategy was you'd put it on and you'd get maybe 30 minutes in before you realised it wasn't Charmed or something.
Yeah.
And that was how they got their viewers.
There really was a lot, now that you mention it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think because X-Files had come to a close, and I think Supernatural had just sort of started, and
Yeah.
Charmed was still in its heyday. I think they'd given Shannon Doherty the flick and replaced them with the much more boring Rose McGowan, but...
And then there was that one with the woman with the blonde hair that also solved crimes.
Medium.
Go
Patricia
Medium.
Patricia Arquette, yeah.
Where was John Edwards crossing over? Was that just before this?
Probably.
I think that was just before.
Yeah.
I reckon they
Mid-2000s?
probably
Yeah.
got quite a few viewers just straight from that show.
John Edward.
So you're saying it's a sequel?
Yeah.
So Scott, what
It's
did
definitely fictional. We know that.
Scott, what did you know about Ghost Whisperer going in?
My mum was a huge Ghost Whisperer fan.
Ooh,
Watched it
really?
every
Feel like
single
Wow,
week.
so there's a
That
bit
was
of
probably their
connection here.
target audience, mums. I think
My
mums.
mum specifically. so targeted.
They killed it.
It's really niche.
She watched it every week. So I think I'd seen little bits
Yeah.
of the show, but
Okay.
not really enough to remember what was going on, apart from the fact that it was Jennifer Love Hewitt and ghosts.
Yeah, fair enough. And what about you, Az? Do you know anything about this going in?
Absolutely not. That's all I had. Jennifer Love Hewitt and ghosts.
I think of all the shows we've done, I feel like I knew the least about this one. At least of the others, I had a vague idea of what we were going in, what we were going into. I kind of knew.
Even Quantum Leap and Beauty and the Beast?
Beauty and the Beast is the only one that confused me more than this one.
Okay.
But I don't really want to go back down that road because
Okay.
I feel like now that we've watched and seen Beauty and the Beast, I can't go back and look at it again. Just it haunts me.
Morgs, do you want to give us a brief synopsis of what went on in episode 1?
Oh, it would be my absolute pleasure. The show begins with a young Jennifer Love Hewitt at a funeral home, having her first encounter with a ghost. We see the purpose of the Ghost Whisperer's powers.
You and your grandmother are the only ones here who can see me. Will you help me?
We then flash forward to the present day, where Melinda is at her wedding and she begins to have a vision of a mysterious man. As we start to see the life of Melinda, Jennifer Love Hewitt, unfold, we see that she runs an antique business with her close friend Andrea, played by Aisha Tyler, and her ability to see and communicate with the dead appears to be known amongst her family and friends. The mysterious figure appears again at the house of Melinda and Jim.
Thought you were gonna try and give this a rest.
Yeah, well, when you find the remote that turns that off, you let me know.
He is a missing soldier, and Melinda sets out to solve the mystery of his death.
I don't know where I am. I need you to help me.
We learn that the mysterious soldier, Sergeant Paul Adams, was killed in action over Vietnam, and she reaches out to his son, played by Balthazar Getty, to tell him about his father's demise. After initially being unable to accept what Melinda has told him and denying her abilities as a medium,
Get out of my house.
he eventually comes around and makes peace with his father.
Your father wants to know if you still have the last letter he sent to your mother.
Is he here?
Yeah, right here with us.
The episode finishes at a cemetery where an official funeral for Adams is being held, while Melinda and Adams watch on before Adams moves to the next plane of existence. And that's the end of episode 1 of Ghost Whisperer. Really not a lot happened.
No.
Like, it's a really bland show, and I felt even writing that summary that I'm kind of like, what?
All right, you don't have to
No, I
show off to the listeners that you write some of the material on the show.
well, no, I
Taking
just,
credit for stuff.
well, I will, and
Morgan's on an auto cue the whole time.
yeah,
Up until
This whole thing is scripted?
Yeah, especially
that-
this part of the conversation.
we tried. I
Wow.
think we did a couple of episodes early on. We had to scrap because we let Morgan go off script. It was just a disaster.
yeah. You know all my like political rants that I do.
Yep.
That's why we keep it to a strict auto cue. But seriously, like, come on, that show? What even happened?
Yeah, and I found it interesting that they chose to dive straight in with having all the immediate people around her, like her husband, her the person that she worked with, like they all know that she can speak to ghosts.
Yeah,
I thought that was
maybe.
maybe going to be a bit of a reveal of, she's got to keep it from her husband, or
Yeah.
it's going to get in the way of her work, which it really seems like it does. But everybody knows and just accepts that ghosts are real. It's this
Yeah.
weird alternate kind of
yeah, but-
reality that we're in.
There's no sort of implication about that at all. It's just, oh, okay, she talks to ghosts. This is just part of what she does. So runs
Yeah.
an antique store and talks to ghosts.
The only people that don't really know about the ghosts are the people that she's got to go and tell.
But even then, when she does go to tell that guy, Balthazar Getty's character, about, I've got this, your father's a ghost, I can see him. Yeah, probably 10 minutes, and he's just, fair enough. He's just accepted it.
No,
he
he's
just turns it around.
straight away. He's like, get out of my house.
No,
Like,
initially,
clearly
but within
running.
5 minutes of that, he's back to see her.
Oh, because his wife's like, no, she
Yeah.
said that I should believe you, which is stupid. Because if someone rocked up to my house and said, oh, hey, just so you know, your dad that you've never met and no one knows where he is, I can speak to him and I know where he is. So for the small fee of $69.95 a month, I can find where your dad is.
On the finding of the dad.
Similar to Jag. Did anyone else pick up on that?
No, I didn't. Good
Absolutely.
call.
Dad missing in Vietnam? Huh? Is it the same guy? What's his name?
Donald P. Belisario?
Yeah, is it Belisario?
Could be.
It reeks of Belisario.
But her advice to find the dad, because she's found out through the whispering
Yeah.
that she knows the valley in Vietnam that he died in. So she just says, call the Pentagon, get them to go find him.
Just call him.
And then he shows up at her house later that evening. He's like, yeah, I now believe you. I spoke to the Pentagon. They spoke to Vietnam, and they're sending a search team right now to get his body.
Yeah, just 1-800 Pentagon.
At like 8 o'clock at night, and just, it rang the Pentagon. Just kept ringing the hotline.
24-hour
Just-
hotline, yeah.
Send a Black Hawk into some unknown valley. Oh, yeah, his body is there from 45 years earlier.
Aaron, you don't understand. Everybody gets one.
Oh,
Everybody
right,
gets
okay.
one phone call to the Pentagon, one request, no questions asked.
All right.
Can I also point
It's
out
a good deal.
when they show also another great little cameo from it's not a cameo. He was a guest star. Wentworth Miller.
Yeah, Prison Break.
Was that? Yeah, Prison Break.
Yeah, playing
When he's
the vet.
yeah,
Was this post Prison Break?
I think it was pre-Prison Break.
Prison Break.
Okay. I
Oh,
was going to say, they're putting down a lot of money. For
no,
the
no,
pilot.
it was post. It was post.
Okay.
So they're paying the big bucks for Wentworth.
No, I was just trying to say that scene where it shows him going down in the helicopter, and the helicopter's on its side, just careering into the cliff. He's just kind of casually sitting there, just hanging on.
Damn, that's a nice waterfall.
Yeah, it's a nice waterfall, but it's on its side, careering into the side of the cliff, and he's just casually sitting there.
What do you do during helicopter crashes?
Well, I'd feel like it'd be a little more violent than that.
Maybe a little more things you could do. Try and prevent it, maybe.
Yeah,
Like jump out. Yeah, maybe try and jump out.
aim for the pool of water.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just speculating. What would I know?
Can we talk about J-Love's husband? I'm not a fan.
We calling it J-Love?
Jennifer
Are we?
Hewitt?
Well, he's
J-Love?
Mrs. Love Hewitt. He's
Right.
he's not anyone in particular.
Exactly.
What would you like to talk about?
He's Mrs. Love Hewitt.
Yeah. Mr. Love Hewitt. My apologies.
That's okay. Gender's fluid.
So they have the wedding, and then is it the wedding night where he's carrying her up their driveway?
Yeah.
Oh no, he's carrying her up the street.
Up the street.
To their half-built house.
Yeah, so he's surprising her.
Clearly haunted. No wonder she sees ghosts. Why the fuck would you want to live in that terrifying
Like,
thing?
she's never seen the house before. Is that right?
Yeah.
And he's been
That
building.
is always a bad idea. That's not a
Yeah.
good sign for a relationship. You
well-
do not surprise someone with a brand new house.
Red flag right
Big
there.
Also,
house.
not brand new house. Half built
Big house for someone
by a
that-
paramedic.
The paramedic built it, and their dual income of someone that owns a
Antique store.
antique store that she's clearly never at because she's out solving stupid problems for ghosts. They can build a fucking like 3-story mansion with turrets and stuff. Come on.
Yeah, but as you can see, it's not complete because the fence post keeps falling over.
Yeah.
And most of it is that like plastic covering to keep the.
I thought he was like renoing it, like it was already
know.
there, but
He's a paramedic.
Well, maybe
though.
it was a beautiful like $1 million mansion when he started. He was like, I'll just change this doorknob.
Tweak a few things, tear the place apart.
Yeah.
He's Tim Allen it.
pulling the thread.
There is a scene I want to quickly just bring up. There's a point where like she's driving along and she sees like the two statues of the war veterans in the street.
Yes.
And she's, you know what I'm going to say here.
yeah.
And she's in her car and she's up at the lights and she just stops, gets out, and goes to look at the war veterans.
And she's like parked half her car's over the line into the intersection. Just
in the
walks
middle of
into
the
a
intersection
park.
and just parks there. It's like you can't just park there.
There's other
like
cars
that.
driving around her.
But there's not really a lot of traffic, but it's still super illegal.
you don't understand. She's a ghost whisperer.
Yeah,
she's got free reign over this
Yeah,
town.
she's
Right,
got
okay.
she's got special ghost whisperer privileges. She's got a badge and everything.
Clearly,
she's
everyone
above
in
the law.
Everyone in the town is on board with her ghost whispering.
She has direct line to the Pentagon.
Of course.
She basically goes president, ghost whisperer,
Pentagon.
vice president,
And then
and
Pentagon.
then just
Then just
flows on from
everything
there.
else.
Yeah.
Well, and above, at the very top of that is M. Canary Burns.
Yeah.
We spoke about this earlier. Like, why is everyone so accepting of her air quotes gift, and just assumes that like what? How has she proved this to people? How did she prove it to her husband? How did she prove it to her mate who runs the antique store with her?
Because the ghosts tell her secrets. And then she lets them know that the only way she could know that secret, like the first scene when she was like an 8-year-old girl at the funeral.
Yep,
And
about
the-
tell my
Yeah.
wife that she can still have a glass of champagne on Friday night. Oh, how fucking generous of you, mate.
One glass, no more.
just crippling alcoholic. Keep
It's a
your
real
limit.
waste of a whole bottle of
Yeah.
champagne.
And that was like a really mundane thing for that guy to come back and say, like,
Yeah.
tell my wife I love her. We probably could have done that when you're alive.
He
You
was
don't really
too
need
busy. He said he
Yeah,
was
but-
too
Too
busy.
busy. Sorry. We were together for 50 years.
Are you sure you really loved her? Or did you love whatever you were doing?
But if like that's not a groundbreaking thing to hear. If
No.
some little girl came up to me and said, "Oh, your wife loves you," after she died, as her way to convince me that she can see ghosts, I'd be like, what?
But what if she said, like, keep having one Hawker's Pale Ale every Friday night?
Then
Like
I
you
was
currently
assuming
do.
I was getting pranked by Morgan, or this is some sort of new viral marketing technique from Morgan.
Speaking of the fact that she's like it was her grandmother who had that power, was it?
Yeah.
I assume, and so she was teaching her how to help these dead loved ones speak to their spouses and whatnot. So she's been doing this since she was 8 years old. She's clearly not designed for this because she's 26 or something when this show starts. So she's been doing this for close to 20 years. And she's like, at one point she needs to go get some information on the war vet. So goes to the RSL type thing to get the information. And then the guy who owns the place, his wife had died, and she was like, "Oh, tell him that the keys for the deposit box or whatever all the money is, I left them in my raincoat pocket." And she cannot find a way to tell him that isn't just flat out, "I can speak to ghosts."
Yeah.
Like, she's supposed to try to be subtle about it. She's been doing it for 20 years. Clearly has gotten no better at
Yeah,
it.
you surely would have some method of slipping it into a conversation that didn't make you seem like a crazy person.
Yeah.
The other thing as well is, I assume that she's sort of lived in this tiny piece of shit town in like nowhere America for her whole life. She would have solved all the problems. And there'd be like one
People keep
person that
dying.
dies every few weeks.
And she would know, like, a lot of the recent deaths, she would have known them when she was alive. So when someone dies, someone might just say, like, oh, hey, when my husband who just passed away comes to visit you, just give me a call and we'll figure out whatever he wants to do.
Does she pass on like a business card to ghosts? Say like, tell your friends.
I don't
How
get
weird.
yeah,
You
she
can't
doesn't
touch
want
him.
she doesn't want the business though. She's not looking for the business.
Well, it's not like she's getting paid.
But does
it's
she
a
not
maybe
want
some
it?
treasure.
Because if she didn't want it, she could just say, you know what?
Maybe that's
Sorry.
why she's in the antique business. Because
Surely
they
you
hook her
just,
up
like-
with some sweet antiques
That's
from
what I
their,
was thinking. Yeah.
their estate.
I'll be like, oh, you help me out and I'll tell you
Yeah.
where
Give me that
this,
vase.
my secret stash is stored. Or
Yeah.
Of all my antiques.
Yeah.
One more thing that her husband Jim says to her, which really pissed me off. He's like, you know, I feel like it's my job to keep them away from you because she's clearly having nightmares and
Yeah.
keeps waking, thrashes around in her sleep and stuff. Again, like you said before, Scott, surely she's used to it by now. It's 20 years.
Yeah.
Um,
Have some sort of coping mechanism.
yeah,
Jesus.
it shouldn't shock the shit out of you every time you see a ghost when that's literally what you do for a job. But he's like, you know, I try real hard to make sure that there's not more for you to deal with. Like him single-handedly is stemming the tide of people dying.
Yeah.
One paramedic in a small town. Does he know how many people die in like every minute?
Clearly not.
He's hardly making
Spends half his time building a house.
he's hardly making a dent.
And by building a house, you mean basically destroying this
Yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
Victorian-style home.
I think the show should also just be called Ghost Relayer or something because not a whole lot of ghost whispering, but a lot of like, it seems like at the end of almost every episode there would be a scene, there's that scene where the ghost is telling her something to tell the other person something, which is really just relaying information. Although she does make a slight improvement on their grammar. Did you notice at
Yeah, she
one
was
point
kinda
he says,
paraphrasing.
tell my son he grew up real good. And she's like, he wants you to know that you grew up really well. No. I said real good.
Word for word.
He's real good.
I noticed that as well. Is he going to crack it at her and go, hey, that's not what I said.
yeah.
Paraphrase me.
It would be very, very annoying. It's a ghost. You have one shot,
Yeah.
and someone's just like, "Nah, it's fine. They got the gist."
Because of like the way that television works, you know, you're getting the information twice, so
Yeah.
it's just a niggly little thing that like
Yeah.
it has to work inside of the show.
What you're
but
saying
it'd be
is-
so boring, so she'd crunch it down all the time.
It's a crap premise, is what you're saying.
I'm just saying it's not a great for like a formulaic show. They would have to do that every single episode.
She just relays information.
yeah, Ghost Relayer.
I think we're getting into speculation here. So should we,
little
Oh, I'm sorry.
let the listeners know what happened in episode 2?
I think that would be great. Jez, what have you got for us?
5 years on, and Melinda is still ghost whispering. Her husband, Jim, now played by 2016 Premiership winning coach Luke Beveridge, has been promoted from paramedic to doctor, an unorthodox career progression, but good for him. They now have a dweeby son, Aiden, who shares his mother's gift.
Jim, wake up. It's Aiden. He's talking to someone.
Melinda would rather he didn't, so tells him ghosts aren't real.
I feel better.
What do you mean?
That there's no such thing as ghosts.
Melinda begins acting erratically, unable to differentiate between the dead and living. She's also lashing out at her family and co-workers for no particular reason.
Oh, the drain in the tub. It's clogged. Sorry.
And you're telling me why?
Well, when you came back, I didn't want you to.
Because it's my job to call the plumber?
Back at Jim's hospital, the ghosts are taking over.
Hospital's becoming ghost central again.
One particular ghost, 13-year-old Pistol Pete, is terrorising patients and doctors by marching an army of polio-riddled children ghosts through the hospital every night.
You know, this whole thing with you and your posse has to stop. Who are those kids anyway?
They're like my army. They do whatever I say.
Turns out he never felt the love of a parent. After some crack whispering, it also turns out that his mother died at/of childbirth, sacrificing herself so he could live.
My mother wanted me so much that she told the doctor if he could only save one of you, to save you.
This seems good enough reason for Pistol to give up on his hell-raising ways and leave Limbo. Also, apparently there are these things called shadows, which is why Melinda was acting up, and shinies, which are ascended, glowing ghost children. Aiden gathers all of his ghost child friends and they start glowing, which is enough to defeat the shadows and set things right. And that's all for the final episode of Ghost Whisperer.
I don't really know what to say about that last episode because it was really shit.
Yeah.
Well, you do know what to say.
Yeah. Well, no, I wish I could say more, but it just sucks.
They didn't tie up any loose ends, or it wasn't a proper finale, so pretty obvious that it was cancelled.
I don't think there were really any loose ends.
And given the quality of that last episode, you can see why it was cancelled.
I mean, I think like the fact that the ghost children were called shinies, and that everyone just refers to them as shinies. It's almost like they came up with it on the day. It's like, oh, we'll just call them shinies.
It sounds like it was written by a child.
Yeah.
The shadows versus the shinies.
Yeah,
doesn't it? And they're just like the special ghosts, like they're like Pokemon cards or something. Yeah. Like, and then
the shiny cards.
This kid's collecting all the shiny ones. Like, what?
It's
got a
like,
good collection.
It's like kids did write it, or like they couldn't come up with a good name, so they said, we'll just call them shinies for now. And then they got to editing. It's like, well, look, we haven't come up with anything better, so let's just leave that in.
Yeah.
And what was the implication of? I mean, the shadows possessing Jennifer Love Hewitt, she was just like a little grumpy. Like,
just really irritable.
That's it. I'm locking myself in the antique store.
Okay.
Wow.
I guess maybe because there was a few scenes where Shadow, sort of like this smoky,
It's kind of like the black
just
black
generic
monster from
supernatural
Lost.
smoke is floating around, and everyone who is attuned to the spirit world seems to know about it. So I reckon it's introduced earlier and it must sort of take over and make things bad. But like you said, the worst that happens is she gets a bit irritated by her husband asking her to fix the drain.
And she just goes up to the antique store and locks herself in there and says, "I'm not Melinda." That's all. That's really all that happens.
And then a bunch of children glow, and
then the shadows
collapses on the floor, and then
they turn night into day, and everything's fixed.
That's the other thing. Like when Pistol Pete's got the kids marching around, like he says, the plan is because they're afraid of the shadows.
Yeah.
The plan is he's like, I get the kids marching through there to show we're not afraid. So I think that's a terrible idea because then you're just announcing where you are. Like, wouldn't you be trying to hide from the shadows if you're afraid of them?
What's his end game?
There doesn't appear to be one.
I think he also just likes annoying people.
Yeah. Oh, Pistol Pete.
You are in death how you are in life. Annoying piece of shit.
Yeah.
You can tell he's a badass because he has that denim jacket with the collar flicked up.
Oh, yeah.
Over his hospital robe.
Yeah, exactly. Because they allow that, apparently.
God, I loved when Jim mentioned that. They're like, man, is there any place in this hospital there where they could be hanging out?
Oh, God.
It's like, oh, yeah, right, there's that abandoned ward in the sub-basement. Like,
all those
how did you get
kids
so far into the show working in a hospital
I'm not
and
telling
that
you.
hasn't come up yet?
Also,
Like, of course there's an abandoned ward.
We should probably discuss the fact that he's now a doctor.
Oh, yeah, he went from paramedic to doctor.
5 years later, and he's like, looks like he's running the place.
Yeah, he's done well.
Apparently, you go from paramedic to doctor.
He paramedics so well that they couldn't
We're gonna
not
make you a
promote
full-time
him.
doctor.
Yeah.
I think we're paramedic, carpenter, doctor. That's the career
Natural
progression
progression.
in that town.
That's how it goes.
And in 5 years, he became a doctor and running the place?
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about the world of medicine, but I know it takes more than 5 years
To transition from...
paramedic to a doctor.
Yeah, but that hospital is just so ridiculous where there's an abandoned ward. That is such a waste of resources.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's just completely run down, like the plumbing's busted. I guess because all those kids died of polio. Just
You don't-
left it to rot.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
it's almost like that one's too bad, so we'll just build on top of it.
Do you reckon Jim built the new hospital?
Jim
Probably
built
in the
old
meantime,
hospital,
Yeah.
It's been meaning to...
While he's getting his medical degree.
Yeah.
That's why he's like,
a bit of money on the side.
I built the hospital, so I get to be chief doctor. Jim, you're a carpenter / paramedic.
Paramedic. Don't care.
Don't give a shit. It's my hospital.
Exactly.
Do
My wife's a
it my
ghost
way.
whisperer. I can do whatever I want.
Going to answer back? You're fired.
Maybe the reason he went to be a horribly underqualified doctor is because, at the start he's like, I'm a paramedic and try and stop people from crossing over, so you've got less shit to do. And then maybe it was, she was going through a bit of a lull, slow times at Ghost Whispering HQ. It's like, Jim, I need some help. Maybe you should pretend to be a doctor and just kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So I have some shit to do because the antique business is,
Also, stopping people from dying isn't really going to... That's just going to delay the people getting to it. She's just going to get like a really busy period at some point.
Like
If you
I
really
said
wanted to
before-
help, then you'd like promote people being more honest with each other and not keeping secrets so they don't have to come back and pester Jennifer Love Hewitt to fix all their problems.
Or maybe he makes it so there's a certain amount of deaths each month, just so she has like an even workload throughout the year.
Oh, that's a good way to do it.
Distribution.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you wouldn't
It's
really
got a
need
quota to meet.
Exactly, you wouldn't really need to be a qualified doctor in that sense. I mean,
No.
basically, he can take the patient's all right. Well, you can die, so you be my patient. So
So what you're saying is that like what his brother was saying about him, how he can talk to people and calm them down. He just keeps them
Keeps
on
him calm.
death's door
Yeah,
until his
exactly.
wife
Bang,
can deal
until
with him. He's like, all right,
yeah,
now you can
okay,
go.
now you
She
can go.
closes the last case, and then
Yeah,
boom.
boom. We've got Rimfu in the Ghost Whispering
We've
business.
got Steve here. He's about to cross over. He's lost his keys, so give him a hand with that'd be great.
It's very like Quantum Leap, like episode to episode, how like minor or major is the problem going to be.
Yeah.
Like literally lost keys was one of the problems. Like,
Given how small the town is, I'm guessing most of the episodes lean more towards like the minor
issues.
problems end of the
Yeah.
scale.
Let's go to the real issue here. And let's talk about one of the key guest stars, George Wendt from Cheers, the plumber.
huh? Oh,
Let's talk about the plumber.
Oh, yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Cheers.
It's
George
from
Wendt.
Cheers.
So-
What's his name in Cheers?
I can't remember.
Al?
I
Nah.
don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, he's
that?
got a big tash.
Oh, is it Cliff?
Cliff?
Cliff, maybe. No, he didn't have a mustache. I think
What's his name? George.
George Wendt. I thought you guys would know who George Wendt is.
On the
No
fly.
idea.
But
not,
you know him from Cheers, at least. You
we're
know
not
him
all
from Cheers.
human IMDb's like you.
Oh, he's Norm.
Norm, yeah.
Norm.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So first of all, we should explain that somehow the plumber that they got, neither of them called a plumber because she's losing her ability to differentiate between the living and the dead. He's just taking her for a ride, pretending to fix her toilet,
Her bath.
her bath. Sorry, but then it's like this is probably what you were going to say. Why? Why is he doing it?
He loves being a plumber.
Yeah, but he can't plumb.
Apparently,
That makes no sense.
He had some good gags.
He did not have any good gags. No, he did not
You
have
don't
any
like
good
plumber
gags.
humor?
No, I do not.
He had so much plumber humor.
What, why are you guys defending
It was
this
his
character?
Battle of Waterloo.
we go to plumber humor open mic nights every Thursday.
That's where you guys have been going.
Yeah, exactly. we were going to invite you, but we figured you're not big on plumber humor.
But
so-
what do you
not.
think?
Yeah, you wouldn't like it there. The bar's a real piece of shit.
That kills.
Yeah,
That kills their nuts.
There's a scene where Jim's having dinner with Miranda and
Melinda?
Melinda?
Who's this
Who-
Miranda
who,
woman?
you talking about
Miranda?
J-Lo? J-Love?
J-Love.
Yeah, that's Melinda.
Melinda.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right.
J-Lo's Miranda.
Yeah,
Straight
J
over.
loves Melinda. Okay.
Yeah.
That's where you're getting confused.
Man, I'm so confused. I can tell you that much. When they're having dinner, and I don't know much about medicine, but I'm pretty sure you shouldn't be eating in your like doctor's scrubs from work. That seems really unhygienic.
That is that's an absolute no-no.
you can have so many diseases on them.
Polio isn't contagious.
Yeah,
It's fine.
That's all he's got to worry about.
What about
He's a
ghost
polio
polio?
doctor.
yeah.
Ghost polio, that'll
Have
get
you been vaccinated for ghost polio? See a doctor today. And he clearly has no ethics either,
No.
because in order to try to find out about what happened to Pistol Pete, he just breaks into the hospital's records and goes and visits a woman who gave a baby up for adoption.
Yeah, that's
He's-
immediate.
But again,
he's done.
Immediate dismissal.
he built the hospital
All
himself.
right, they're his records. he can do what he wants.
Exactly. It runs by his rules.
You must be running the place with like an iron fist.
Yeah.
People just are terrified of him the whole time.
No, you just do what he wants.
Yeah.
Another couple of cameos. The main shiny girl.
Yes.
Yeah,
is,
Joey King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colin Hanks' daughter from season 1 of Fargo.
Ah,
Yeah, I saw
Ah,
him. Man,
yeah.
she looks so familiar.
the ham radio girl.
And I think it was the guy in the first episode whose wife had left the safety deposit box key.
Yeah.
in a jacket. He's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
he was
can't-
Frank's brother in It's Always Sunny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he died recently. I can't remember his
did
name
he?
is, but he always plays like a.
Well,
Like,
So he was a ghost
now.
in that episode.
yeah, he's actually a ghost. But no, he's like he always plays like a mafia character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
real sleazy, like
Yeah.
pencil moustache.
Yeah.
He's Steve Crossetti in Homicide: Life on the Streets. Which I
And he's-
love. Such
Who
a
is
good
he?
show.
He's in an episode of Seinfeld. I can't remember which one.
Yeah,
he's got the comb over.
I think he's the super of their building. Newman's sleeping with his wife, and he calls
right.
Jerry a dandy. He's a real fancy boy.
I'm a fancy boy. Like it had a lot of
Yeah.
stars.
Pulling power, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's because I think the network poured a lot of money into it.
It's CBS, right?
Yeah, because they know because Jennifer Love Hewitt is just really not that good of an actress. She's not good
all
at
of those scenes where she is like supposed to be kind of half possessed by the shadow and is just essentially having a really grumpy time.
Yeah.
Not believable at
Not
all.
at all.
No.
She's just like puts on the monotone.
No.
And like she's barely even acting.
Do you guys have any theories about the shadows of the shinies?
I don't. Why do you?
I don't, but
I think the
there's
shadow's
something going
just
on.
generic, like weird
Evil.
mass or
Yeah.
evil spirity.
But it's not.
smoky
It
stuff
seems like it has
that's in
very little
everything.
power.
Yeah, and
Well, they got
just makes
defended
you
by
grumpy.
a bunch of children.
Yeah,
so I
who
would
just
say they
glow.
do have no power.
Get like you breathe it in and gives you IBS and you're grumpy for the rest of the day.
Jim's just not. He's just spreading it around because he's not washing his hands. He's going around, pressing the flesh with the towel and just passing on gastro.
No wonder the toilet's blocked. But as soon as I said shinies, I just thought of Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
It all seems very small scale as well. Like, why is this battle for the, like, on the other, like, they seem to be some sort of battle for purgatory where the shadows are we have no idea what they are. It's just a bunch of black smoke. You're saying, worst it's going to do is give people bronchitis. And then you've got these shinies, which are the kids. But, like, there's just a small battle there in the shop, and it just means people won't be that irritated. You know, they're just annoying. It's very
small scale, supernatural crime solving.
There's one thing from back to the first episode with there's that when she's like paraphrasing Wentworth Miller and talking to Balthazar Getty's character. He's like, "Tell me, grew up real good." That I often thought, like, so many times, because, like, say you're getting to speak to, okay, you do believe that Jennifer Love Hewitt has these powers, and you are getting to speak to your lost relative or lost partner or whatever. Like, how often would she just, like, kind of, because the other person can't see the ghost there, how often would she be like, I can't be bothered anymore, and just wrap it up, and the ghost still want to talk to the person? Come on. And she'd be like, yeah. So he says, look, it's time for me to go. No, it's not time for me to go yet.
Kid. Well, this is one of my bits of speculation.
Okay.
Because with Pistol Pete, Jim basically does all the legwork because Jennifer Love Hewitt's been too busy getting inhabited by IBS smoke monster thing. So he does all the legwork, finds out that the kid's mother died whilst she was giving birth to him, and that's why he was put up for adoption and then was not loved and turned into a little shit. So then Jennifer Love Hewitt tells him that, and he's like, okay, cool, I can go on with my child army and pass on over to the other side. But for all Jennifer Love Hewitt knows, and for all Pistol Pete knows, that's not true.
Yeah.
Does it have to be true for them to pass on?
Well, how do they... It's not like they are...
Yeah, he didn't ask to see the records.
Yeah, because presumably the mum would be a ghost wandering around somewhere as well, because she'd have unfinished business.
Well, that's what... When he was going to go into the light...
He could see her.
Saw her.
Yeah. She was like, your mother's waiting there for you.
I reckon you're right. I reckon she's just like...
I reckon she could she could phone it in. She
can't
could
be
just be like,
asked
your
to
mum
this.
was... Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you could really just say anything.
Yeah,
totally.
and if she was, and she'd clearly be known for it around the town. The amount of people like, who'd come up to her and go, "Oh, look, you know, is my father on the other side?" She could just totally take these people for a ride. And
John Edwards, some of them.
It's probably Edwards. It's probably how she has all her antiques. She's probably getting them for free and then on selling them for a huge profit.
So she just like people in the town there, love someone would pass on, and they'd be like, "Oh, I really need to like, I want to speak to them one last time." So, I'll do it if you give me that $3,000 bookcase. Like, all right, I'll do it.
Well, your father wants me to give you that $3,000 bookcase.
or that.
Yeah. So I'm saying that's how she runs her business. That's how she's turning over this huge profit.
Yeah. That's the one thing that's the reason that he's not ascended to heaven or gone to hell or whatever.
Yeah,
he's in purgatory because he wanted me to tell you that he wants me to keep everything in his will.
Yeah. It was actually me.
He made a mistake.
Time. Yeah,
he wrote your name down instead of mine.
He loves you though.
Even not even to get stuff, even just to save time. Like she's got an actual job, she's got an actual life to lead, and she's clearly annoyed in that last episode where there's ghosts coming up to her left, right, and center, being like, "Oh, solve my blah 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 whatever." Even in the first episode, that happens. Like, surely she's just going to lie to some of these ghosts just to be like, just get out of my hair.
Yeah, I mean, if the ghost, so the only issue with that is if the ghost follows her to talk to their respective living person. But if they're not there, then just
I suppose most of the ghosts want her to go talk to someone else. Most of them weren't like her just talking to the ghost, like with Pistol Pete.
Yeah. I don't know. If I was Jennifer Love Hewitt, I'd be lying to these ghosts left, right, and center. It doesn't matter. They're passing on.
Yeah, exactly.
Once they're over the other side, they can find out. It's fine.
No. It's great for them over there.
It's about results, all right?
Yeah.
It's about getting results.
Quotas. With those polio
hit
kids,
her KPIs.
they look pretty good. Like, they look fairly well and healthy. I'm guessing if you're dying of polio, you probably wouldn't look that great when you, like, the moment you die.
Yeah. Maybe it's just like the best version.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Because if someone's been battling cancer for 10 years and they come back as a ghost.
Old mate in the first episode that died in a helicopter crash in Vietnam. He would have been burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, he would be. Yeah. I mean, he crashed.
So they get
to a helicopter crash.
Like pre-death cause. That's when they go back to.
Yep.
Maybe the last memory of themselves or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. They probably explain it at some point during the series, I imagine.
The last memory of themselves. My last memory of myself, I'll have like rippling six pack and tan and jacked.
You're not an overweight plumber who cracks shitty jokes.
To be fair to Jim, Melinda's husband, he hasn't had a solid night's sleep since he met her.
Oh God!
Every
night.
Every night she wakes up
well.
screaming.
She thrashes about.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we go again. I think they'd have some sort of like Wallace and Gromit style contraption so that when she like lurches up in the middle of the night, there's some sort of thing that sets off and then she's off, puts her pants on for her and she's off solving something.
Catching the penguin.
Or separate beds, at least.
Yeah.
Or a divorce.
Either way.
I reckon shortly after the show wrapped up, they got a divorce. He flew out to Australia, fell in love with the game of Australian rules, and then started a successful coaching career.
So you're saying what we saw was the prequel to the Western Bulldogs grand final win of 2016?
I'm pretty sure before the season starts, there's going to be a doco on Fox Footy.
I mean, the hairstyle progression indicates that probably happened.
Timeline matches up. All right, so I think we're pretty much tapped out of discussion about the episode. So let's jump over to the segment where we reboot this show into our own version. Scott,
Do you love a
what
good
do you got?
reboot?
Okay.
Well, you've come to the wrong place, Monks, because he's terrible.
Excellent. Good. I'm looking forward to some bad reboots because the last ones have been too good.
Yeah, too high quality.
I think so.
I got a pretty low quality reboot for you.
Good.
Here.
I'm glad.
There's not much to it. Gonna be real quick, just in and out. Hopefully, it's something.
Really underselling it.
So we're carrying on from where Ghost Whisperer left off. We're coming back for a
Season 6?
No, not even that. Just like a TV special.
Oh, yeah.
You know how it's sort of like how there's Christmas episodes,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
sort
I'm
of
with you.
thing.
I'm with you.
But this is just a up to date.
I'm aware of the concept of a TV special.
Okay, you've seen one before?
I have.
All right, good. I won't have to explain it then.
Okay. Oh, so we're done.
We're done. That's it.
Morgs, what do you got?
No, sorry, you should probably...
Can we flesh this out a bit more?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
Is that not clear? No, okay. So we're going to go, it's 2017. When did Ghost Whisperer finish? Was it
2010.
Yeah.
2010? Yeah, okay. That'll line up. So imagine that every year that has passed has just been a year in the show. So we're like 7 years on.
Yep.
We're coming back for it's going to be like a two-parter TV miniseries sort of style. TV special, let's just say. And Melinda's still working at the antique store, but her son, Aiden, is now, 14, 15. He's gone through a bit of like a grungy phase. He's wearing like the cut-off jeans. He's got a bit of a chain.
He'd be real grungy as well, because he can see ghosts.
Yeah.
He's so emo.
So moody.
This kid sounds very unsavory, but continue.
So he's at home hanging out, and his mum sees him, and he's wearing these dog tags.
Yeah.
And she's like, where did you get those from? He's like, I found them at the antique store. She's like, no, give me those. You can't be playing with stuff from the antique store. She sort of takes a look at them. She's had some run-ins with, the Pentagon forearm type. So she sort of recognizes them and sees that they're like naval dog tags for a naval pilot.
Ooh.
And so she puts them away in the dresser drawer, goes to sleep that night with Jim in bed. She wakes up in the middle of the night and hears something downstairs, and the radio's turned on. And she gets up and turns it off, and then goes back to bed. Wakes up again and it's turned on. And each time it's playing Great Balls of Fire, which is a little weird. And then so the fourth, fifth time she goes downstairs, there's a figure standing in the shadows. He comes out, and it's no other than Nick Goose Bradshaw from Top Gun. I don't know if you guys have seen Top Gun.
Yes.
Went down.
Yeah, went down.
Was a bit of a sad
Used
story.
to say Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah, left a legacy, but has some unfinished business that he needs to get some messages across to his family. So anyway, basically, it's just Melinda
Gun.
helping Goose from Top Gun just resolve his issues.
What's it called?
It's
Gun
called Goose Whisperer.
Goose Whisperer.
And
It could be Top Gun 2 Goose Whisperer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, or
be a
Goose
crossover
Whisperer, Goose Whisperer, Ghost Whisperer, Goose Whisperer.
Ghost Whisperer.
Ghost
colon-
Whisperer, Goose Whisperer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just to make it really sellable so that when people tell their friends about it, they
Yeah,
have a lot of
seen-
trouble.
You see that TV special the other night? Ghost Whisperer, Goose Whisperer? No, I didn't. I had like a million other better things to do.
Yeah, so anyway, we're going to get, Jennifer Love Hewitt's coming back. Maybe to play the kid, we'll have, I don't know, I haven't actually thought of this.
Miles Teller.
Yeah, maybe Miles Teller.
He's the go-to.
Playing a 14-year-old.
Yeah, why not?
And then, I think we'll get Anthony Edwards back to play Goose.
I tell you, that kid would not survive in that town. That is a very whitewashed, perfect suburban town.
Yeah,
it would not
his
take
emo phase won't go
athletes
down
to
well.
his eyeliner and his haircut.
And especially under Jim's like iron fist ruling of the town as well.
Yeah, he's going straight to the polio ward.
Oh, big time.
So I imagine her son Aiden's probably going to help her with whatever Goose needs. I don't know how this is going to occupy 2 episodes, but
mother-daughter.
There's going to be a lot of plumber humour.
Yeah.
I also went with a mother-daughter team. Can I go?
Please
By all
jump
means,
in.
Yeah.
So I had 2. The first one I wasn't happy with, and I feel like a lot of my reboots had a common theme in that it's
The people having sex with cars.
a lot of pent-up sexual frustration, obviously, or something. Because the first one that I had that I scrapped was Ghost Ristia.
Okay.
And what she would do is when like someone gets they think they're gonna have sex and then for whatever reason things go wrong and then they die.
We all know how that
So they're
happens.
in limbo. But not only are they in limbo, they're sexually frustrated. So she just goes around jerking off ghosts.
Oh my god.
I figured that couldn't really be a good show. So I went with something else.
Oh, thank Christ.
So continuation of season 5, when we see her powers failing her a bit. We're not really sure why. There's probably an explanation, but I don't really care. So imagine that downward trend 20 years on.
Right.
So she's a bit older. Jennifer Love Hewitt reprising her role. We're going to get the makeup department in, make her look a bit older. And
She probably looks exactly the same,
Probably.
I imagine.
No, but she's like, maybe like in her 60s.
Oh, okay. So quite a bit older.
Yeah. But her powers are pretty shit. And all she can see, instead of seeing ghosts, she can see people. I don't know how she sort of differentiates them from the crowd, but people who burnt their toast that morning, they stand out to her. And her and her son go around and they solve their problems with their toaster. That's as good as it gets for her. It's called Toast Whisperer.
Oh my god.
So she sort of goes around. I guess she's sort of more of a small appliance repair woman.
So she's like a lunch
medium
lady.
now.
Just
Yeah.
toast.
And she goes and sort of fixes their toaster, and then that's their purgatory, is having a bad experience with toast that morning.
Wait, so are these people dead? Sorry?
No.
Okay, so she's just
They
a
just have
toaster
broken
repair woman.
toasters. I don't think you've entirely grasped this concept.
Yeah, their toast is a source of frustration in their life. She sorts it out.
Okay.
So hang on. The actual
Yeah.
what does she actually do with the toaster?
It just goes, maybe they've got it set too high and it's burning it, or maybe it's a bit faulty. It's
I
got
thought she was
faulty
at least
element,
maybe
she
going to
swaps it out.
Whisper.
convey some sort of information that a normal person wouldn't be.
So it's like
I don't know, an electrician wouldn't be able to access.
You're a
toaster-
person who's
your-
used a toaster before.
Your toaster wants to know
Turn
that
it
you're
down.
using the wrong sort of bread. You need to get thinner slices from there.
Can the toaster
bakery.
burn messages into the toast?
It could. I'm open to suggestions.
Right.
Oh,
Clearly,
my
this
God.
is
that'd be good.
a pretty
Toast
thin
was-
idea.
man.
You get like the toast Jesuses and stuff.
Yeah,
you sometimes
exactly.
see on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good. So,
Get a piece of toast that just has a bunch of O's on it.
so Jennifer Love Hewitt playing Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Obviously.
Her son will be played by Haley Joel Osment.
Yep.
He's got experience in the field.
He does.
Good call.
Sort of, I reckon her son in the last episode, pretty weird looking kid. There's no reason why he wouldn't grow up to look like some sort of man-child like Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah.
And Jim is the only other character I've recast as Luke Beveridge will play Jim in Toast Whisperer.
That's good casting.
I
great
can't
title.
see it getting renewed for a seventh season.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Jennifer Love Hewitt, she's not doing much these days, so should jump at the
May as well.
opportunity.
All right, Morgs. Can you top it?
Yeah, this was probably not, and I think I've bounced around.
If you're
a few
not topping
ideas.
that,
Yeah, it's gonna
There's
be
not
tough.
much hope for this.
There's really not much hope.
I also had Ghost Ristia.
That's true.
I think-
That's
take your
the
pick.
front runner.
So far, both are very solid. So mine is a bit of I sort of bounced around a few ideas, and I sort of came up with this, and I don't know why. I think it's because somehow I wanted to put Nicolas Cage in this show. Just I feel like his chaotic personality would just make this interesting, where it's not at all.
Yep.
yeah.
And essentially what it is, it sort of runs parallel with the series that Jennifer Love Hewitt's brother and his life, what's going on. So it's a series about Jennifer Love Hewitt. So her brother's actually Andy Samberg. And and it's real Andy Samberg playing Andy Samberg.
Is it really her brother?
Yeah, more or less, like a half brother.
Oh, right, in the show.
In the show, yeah.
I thought for a second that Andy Samberg was...
No, Andy Samberg and her
Jennifer
are not
Love
related
Hewitt's
in real
brother.
life.
Okay.
But in this universe, Nicolas Cage has actually passed away, and he comes back, and like Andy Samberg's trying to get his like career up and running. He's trying to get out of comedy and move on to become a more serious actor. But he's got the ability to see the people haven't crossed over, and Nicolas Cage is stuck in purgatory, and his like goal to get through to the other side is he has to help Andy Samberg become the ultimate thespian. So it's essentially like Andy Samberg like trying to like he's like hired at a stage. He's trying to get himself trying to learn how to become like a really like he's trying to
He's his acting coach.
Yeah, it's almost like kind of it's a little bit like your sort of Birdman-y type thing. He's trying to get this play up and going, and he's just talking to Nicolas Cage, and Nicolas Cage is trying to help him through the whole process.
Yep.
And that's kind of the ultimate goal there. It's called Cage Whisperer.
Okay.
It's going to be some great montages.
Oh yeah.
You got the whispering reversed.
What?
Because Cage is the one doing the whispering because he's he's teaching him how to act.
But Sandberg can still whisper to Cage.
He can whisper back.
Yeah.
Two-way dialogue.
Yeah. It's called Cage Whisperer, Sandberg Whisperer.
Okay.
Yeah. It's catchy.
Cage Whisperer, Colin Sandberg Whisperer.
So yeah, pretty much it's just going to be that. Pretty much hilarity ensues. Just those two are trying to get this play up and running, so he can be a respected thespian. And
It's a movie.
it's a movie, yeah.
I would love to see like a climactic scene where Sandberg hasn't been able to like nail his performance yet, but he has what everyone in the audience sees as a monologue. But him and Cage are having like this moment, like the end of Whiplash, where they're just like, yes. He's just nailing it.
There's a lot of things you could do with that.
I would watch that.
I would watch it too. It's not the most fleshed out idea. It was more because I just wanted to shoehorn Nicolas Cage into this.
When in doubt, bring him in.
Bring Nicolas Cage in. And I don't think we've cast Nicolas Cage yet. So
I don't think so.
He doesn't turn down a role, I'm pretty sure.
no,
It's in his contract.
exactly.
His contract with Hollywood.
His contract with Hollywood.
Two of the classic Nicolas
Signed
Cage
into a
things.
lifetime
It's a
deal.
movie, and the actors are paid.
Yeah.
If you call his agent, they literally can't turn it down.
It's like the Pentagon.
Yeah, we could have him here tomorrow.
Everyone gets one Nicolas Cage movie.
We should invite Nicolas Cage to do this podcast.
All right.
He'd probably do it.
Bring him in.
He definitely would do it.
We'll get him in to play Jez one week.
Yeah.
Did you see that he showed up to there's like some Nicolas Cage like convention every year where they watch like a whole lot of Nicolas Cage movies, and he appeared there and did a monologue from Shakespeare.
Yes.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, check it out. It's hilarious. And
That
like
sounds
everyone like
incredible.
just goes mental. I just love how he's now leaning into the fact that he is who he is.
Yeah.
How did Nicolas Cage die?
Oh wow, that's a good question. In the
Did he burn?
filming Con Air 2.
How to get burnt.
Filming Con Air 2. Plane
Okay.
crash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it went down.
Wait,
So he'll be like in a tank top, blue jeans,
Nice.
and the long hair the entire film.
so is Jennifer Love Hewitt actually related to Andy Samberg?
No. That's just for the time. I just wanted somehow to Andy Samberg have the power.
For some reason, that's believable.
Yeah, it's
I don't
It
know
is
why.
believable, and I don't know why. But no,
I'm rolling with it. I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
Okay, we can just start a rumor from here.
I'm going to start working that into conversations.
I don't see how that.
Could
What sort,
backfire
of,
at all.
what sort of gain you get out of that?
I don't know. It's a fun fact. You don't think it'll help me socially? Give me a bit of social currency to trade off.
I don't know. What do you think?
I feel like it could really elevate my status as a person.
This is a game changer.
Yeah, I think I think
Laugh at him.
I think
Don't encourage this.
I think when I'm being eulogized at my funeral, my life will be broken up into two parts. There'll be pre learning this information and then post learning this information, and my life's just going to skyrocket.
From here, this is your climb up the corporate ladder.
Yep.
Will be the fact that you started the rumor that Andy Samberg and Jennifer Love Hewitt were related.
Yeah, it's gonna be my magnum
Yeah,
opus.
and when they ask you like where you got that from, it's going to be from the reboot I came up with.
Don't try and poke holes in it because it's just watch it happen.
I look forward to this.
All right, Aaron. Let's hear what you got.
All right. It seemed like most of the ghosts in that town there was a lot of fairly minor personal stuff that they wanted resolved. Like the guy in the first episode just wanted to say, I love you. But it was a pretty wholesome town. So everyone was like nice family people.
Yep.
It was a high class of society. But I reckon there would have been a lot of other ghosts around, really trashy, low-caste people who J-Love just would not want a bar with.
Yeah.
Just wouldn't have put up with it.
People die to like heroin overdoses. And
Exactly.
Stuff, yeah.
So I think they need a platform as well. So I'm rebooting this as a Jerry Springer style talk show where some of those people who have passed away, but they got a lot of beefs that they need to settle, come out. So you got one living party and then one ghost party. And they just duke it out on stage.
But only she can see it.
Yeah, so she's got a relay. So there'll be a lot of like, you need a ghost crowd as well for some oohs.
Yes.
So yeah, she's doing a lot of relaying. So in this, the host, I've got Jamie Presley.
Oh,
Played,
yeah. She
what's
was
her name in My Name Is Earl?
Yeah.
Playing similar person. Main bodyguard is Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And we needed a ghost security guard as well.
Naturally.
So we got Macho Man Randy Savage. Who's probably the buffest dead person I could find. He's playing the ghost security guard. And the show is called Over My Dead Body.
Yes.
So pretty much every episode there'll be some shouting match, and then the ghost will yell out "Over my dead body," and then Macho Man Randy Savage will just tackle him down. Yeah.
I would watch the shit out of that.
Thank you for making this segment listenable. Up until that point, we've been serving up trash. I mean, yours was slightly better than mine and Scott's.
It wasn't great though.
I enjoyed Ghost Ristia, to be honest.
Ghost Ristia?
Yeah, Ghost Ristia.
Okay. All right.
I actually, and sorry to just interject, I actually thought yours, Scott, was going a different direction when you said the naval dog tags. I thought you were going to. I don't know whether you thought this as well. I thought you were going to talk about Jag, like Harm's dad.
Yeah.
Did you consider that or?
No, there's just I don't know if you've noticed a pattern during this show and the shows that we're
talk
watching.
about
There's a lot of naval pilots.
There is
just
a lot
left,
of
right, and center.
Yeah, they love shoehorning in the military where they can. Just like I love using the word shoehorn in this podcast.
You really like shoehorn in.
I do.
Yeah,
I like to flesh that out as much as I can. Can I just say the casting of Macho Man Randy Savage as the ghost bodyguard is possibly the best casting we've had in 11 episodes.
Can you explain to me who Randy Savage is?
What?
He's a old wrestler.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Remember the original Spider-Man movie, the first one with Tobey Maguire?
Yeah.
And he's he's trying to be the human spider, and he's fighting that dude.
T-Bone.
Bonesaw. That's
Yeah,
Macho
right.
Man Randy Savage.
Okay. So how did they actually fight? Because they can't really touch each other, the ghosts and they can sort of kind of touch each other.
That's
so they'd be like sort of tripping people up, kind of, but not
maybe
really.
Maybe what you need to do is, because Jennifer Love Hewitt's not in it, right?
Yeah.
Now, hear me out. You guys, have you seen Wild Wild West?
A long, long time ago.
So there's a thing in the Wild Wild West.
Will Smith?
Yeah, Will Smith movie.
Yeah,
where they're like,
yeah.
they show the last moments of someone's, what they last saw before they died through some sort of projector.
Oh, yeah,
So my thinking is maybe you could like cut one of her irises out of her eye and put it over
the lens of the camera.
And then you can see ghosts through the camera.
Yes.
I mean, we have the technology.
All right.
So,
Well, I'm going to stop you there.
but I don't really know. But if Pistol Pete could lift up a dress, then surely they can fight.
I'm going to stop you there and just go. Why would we use Wild Wild West technology when we could just use like some sort of like there's cameras that would be able to pick up on it.
I'm just saying for the listeners at home to give them some context.
So you've gone for Wild Wild West? That was
a great
the choice?
movie.
I think the point is they never actually get to the fight because you got Dolph and you got Randy Savage.
Savage.
Good luck getting past them.
Yeah, you're right. That's
But at least we'll be able to see the ghost. That's what I was more worried about.
Yeah,
because,
true.
like, there'd be,
I
there'd be Dolph Lundgren and what's his name, the host woman,
Jamie Presley,
Presley, and whoever had beef with the ghost.
Yeah,
and then they'd just be arguing. with no
have
one.
like one of those heat cameras, so you could see.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
say. Infrared camera, so they'd be like, the ghost would be all
use her eye.
Her eye and Wild Wild West technology.
Yeah, exactly. Why would we use the 1890s technology?
Why would I want to see
giant
like
spider going
why
around
would I want
asking
to
the
see
audience
heat
questions?
maps?
Because I don't think you can't just put an eye on a camera. It's not going to work.
Yes, it will.
How? You don't have the technology or the steady hand to pull such a procedure. I just don't know why you should. But that in itself doesn't even work because that only lets you see the projection of the last thing people saw. Doesn't let you see ghosts.
Let's just
see
who's
who's
right.
Like the other thing, Morgan. Let's see who's right in 10 years. Look where Jez is. Look where you are.
All right, fair enough. I look forward to it.
I'm just rolling in the royalties from this technology I just invented. and you're begging on the street.
All you had to do was cut out Jennifer Love Hewitt's eye.
Yet still, the thing you will be remembered for is the fact that Jennifer Love Hewitt and Andy Samberg are related.
When people try and cut out Andy Samberg's eye as well, because they think that Jennifer Love Hewitt is related to Andy Samberg, so therefore he can see ghosts. So they want two cameras. They take one of Andy Samberg's
technology.
You want the Jennifer Love Hewitt cam?
Don't try and jump on my idea now.
No, I'm not. I'm still poo-pooing it. I'm just trying to work out how it works.
You make the show with your infrared camera. I'll make it with mine. You see who does better.
Okay, we will do that.
And you've got such a successful show
Yeah,
that
already.
you've got
There's two
parties vying.
There's going to be 2 iterations of it. Wild Wild West edition. Well, I think we've exhausted the reboots.
To be honest, I would rather watch all of them more than I would rather watch Ghost Whisperer.
So, Jez, where can people find us in social media?
So the Incomplete Series on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, we are at the Incomplete Series.
At the Incomplete Series. I don't have Instagram. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, that's why I look
foreign
after
technology to me. I specialize in eye cameras. And TIS Podcast on Twitter.
No.
Nope.
No. We are Podcast TIS on Twitter.
Well, that was close.
TIS Podcast, I believe, is the... I'm desperately trying to remember what the name of the podcast is.
Yeah,
there is another TIS podcast.
The Incomplete Truth? Was it or something? Or was it Truth? I can't remember.
Truth is... Yeah, I think it's Truth is Scary. It's like a conspiracy podcast.
Yeah.
So shout out to those guys.
Yeah. You're doing good work.
Yep.
You're doing the Lord's
Perhaps
work.
we could do like a crossover episode.
Yeah, I'd like that.
We'll watch those old, like, the first and last of the old, like, MK Ultra tapes.
Yeah.
From, like, the CIA.
First clip and the last clip of the Zapruder film from JFK's.
Well, anyway, we'll work on that. We'll reach out to our friends at Truth is Scary podcast.
As always, you can head to our podcast, theincompleteseries.com. Check out any bonus content there.
Drop us a suggestion as well.
Head over to the suggestion box.
Yeah, we've had some great suggestions that have yielded some pretty fun shows to watch.
Yep, we do listen, guys.
So get involved. Well, thank you, Aaron.
Thanks, Morgs.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
And thank you, Jez.
You're welcome.
Cheers, guys. We'll see you soon.